What's up, good people? It's your pal Terry Bean back with another exciting episode of Janet E. Johnson View. Oh, wait, that's not the name of it. The show's called Business Growth Time. Janet, what are you doing over there? You know what? I saw an E word yesterday when I was in the car, and it was an E word that we used years ago. It made me smile. I'm using it again. So chalk it up as two. That word is eponymous. Do you remember that conversation from years ago?
I
It's an
do, and I
album.
remember I didn't know the meaning of the word. I still don't
You-
remember the meaning of the word.
I don't know that I know what the meaning of the word was, but I remembered it being like REM's greatest hits album back in like 1986.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was listening to a little first wave on Sirius XM,
Is
and
it how's it
that
spelled? EPONYMOUS by chance?
EPONYMOUS. It means giving their name to something. Yeah, that's the definition. And the
Need that
album
to
came
remember.
out specifically in 1988.
Okay.
1988. Well, that's exciting stuff. No one
That's well, Olivia, it relates nothing to what we're talking about today, so that's kind of funny.
It actually does. We're giving their
Okay.
name to something, and that name today is offer. As in, I don't have one, I need one. Listen to this, you'll love this. I was speaking at an event last week, and I didn't really want to go, but a friend introduced me to this person who was hosting this event, and I like this lady, so I wanted to make her look good by showing up and showing out. So I did. But it was free. I don't love free. And I later found out not only was it free, but there were going to be four other speakers at this event. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to be some guy in the middle. Yeah. So I was telling my wife as I'm leaving, she's like, you don't look happy for a guy that's going to do what you love to do. I said, yeah, it's this and that. And she's like, well, you like Renee, so you're going to do it, right? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And I said, but I'm going to light this flipping stage on fire. I'm going to just set it ablaze and walk off and then feel really bad for everybody that has to go after me. And I did, right? It was on LinkedIn, and I just, whatever, man. It was cool. I was in the zone. We had fun. And after the event, one of the dudes in the audience came up and said, so what's your offer? And I said, what? And he said, what's your offer? He said it slowly, like I didn't hear it the first time, man. And I'm like, bro, the fact that you're asking me in that way means that we both know I don't have an offer. So thanks. I appreciate it, because if I would have had an offer, I would have told you what the damn offer was while I was talking. So all right, let's figure that out. And he's like, you ever heard of Russell Brunson? I'm like, yeah, dude, of course I've heard of Russell Brunson. Thanks for asking. He's like, well, I just got certified in his stuff. I'm like, fine, we'll talk more. So you mentioned a book when we were doing our little pre-chat called $100 million Offer.
Mhm.
And I am in desperate need. I don't care if it's a $3 offer. I need something. It don't need to be $100 million, but it needs
All right, all right. But you're not doing a $3 offer either.
right. I need
I won't
to
let you.
I need to I need to move into the offer phase before I worry about how much the offer is.
Yeah, yeah. And the book is by Alex Hermosi. It's a very good book. And I listened to the whole thing on Audible, but I was telling Terry I need to go through it again slower so that it, well, and also taking notes. Like, when you're listening, driving in the car, you can only get so much.
For sure.
But everything he said it made so much sense. I mean, it's his tagline is how to make offers so good nobody can say no. So it's like, yeah, and it makes sense. So it's a lot of it's about a guarantee.
Okay.
So how can you package your offer so that there's some sort of guarantee with it? Mine is very odd. It's a little odd with the agency side, but I do have a guaranteed offer. What that they work with me 90 days. I guarantee that we will get leads, like depending on their business. Everybody's business is different, but really my guarantee, if I know they have a decent, and that's who I want to work with, is people that I know have a decent sized offer. Like, if they haven't in 90 days made my feedback plus the ad spend really, then we're doing something wrong. So that should happen in 90 days. I have a guarantee. Now, if they don't have their funnel built and it's a little messy, then sometimes I won't offer like that exactly, but I'll say, you know what, we will guarantee we will get leads into your funnel and we will get this thing moving forward. That's a guarantee. But bottom line is you need
Or
some
what? What's the
sort.
condition on the guarantee? If it doesn't happen, then what? Because
And
otherwise,
that's what I was gonna say. So
okay.
then that part is I work with them for free an additional 30 days to keep working, as long as they're going to pay for the ads. Obviously they need to still continue to pay for the advertising, but I still will. And I've done it with one client. We did do it, and because we had to shift again, and they here's one of their issues, I will say, is they had a broad offer and a broad audience, too broad, and it was not converting at all. But I'm like, I think you guys are smart. We can get this to work. Let's continue. So I did extend it. They actually ended up joining my coaching group instead and shifted over there. And honestly, and then they did that for another 90 days. And then I'm not sure where they're at the moment, but they brought that in from building it with another coach that I knew. But the bottom line is sometimes it might not work if you haven't documented your funnel on the back end. But the bottom line is, what is your guarantee? How do you position that? Now, on my coaching side, I don't know what that guarantee is. And that's what I need to revamp with his book, because, it's hard to guarantee certain things. So, Terry, like, for speaking, let's just give an example for speaking. You could guarantee what you just said. You can guarantee that you get that audience excited. You get that audience jumping up and down. Like there's something you could guarantee that end of things. That's just an example. You know what I mean? But speaking's a little tougher, I would say. But
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm gonna guarantee any of that. Although yesterday I spoke to a group and dudes had guns in the audience. They were trained police officers, but they still, like, I'd never spoken to a handful of people that were back in heat before. I was like, man, I better not screw this up, folks. I get shot right.
wow.
That was
So
uncomfortable.
well, that's a little different. So, and speaking is a different thing. Like, speaking's, but it's your offer. So you're on stage speaking though. That guy asked you, what's your offer? So now how do you take that to the next level?
That's right.
Yeah.
And then for me, and so let's at a high level, because somebody other than me should be getting value out of this conversation. So at a high level, let's talk about the different types of offers one could make.
Okay.
Right? I see a group coaching offer for me as being like the most logical. If I could get a bunch of people that were simpatico on where they wanted to go, I could dust off the 30 different training modules I have. I could put a 6-month coaching program together straight away, right? That I could deliver once a week in a private group. I can see that being a thing. And it would be all about, relationship building. It would be about credibility building. It would be about influence and reach building. And it could be about business building, because I've got a handful of decks on sales. I've got a handful of decks on networking. I've got a handful of decks on mindset. I've got a handful of decks on leadership. I've got a handful of decks on public speaking. I've got stuff on a whole series on how to become a thought leader. I did that 10-week program last year on that.
But let me go. You've got a lot, but how do we niche this down?
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
So, yep.
Right? It's the building, right? It's building relationships. influence business, right? And so,
What is the transformation that you're going to, so that's one of the things that is talked about is instead of like you get all this, what's that transformation at the end of it? Like he had a transfer, he works with gyms, for instance. So his transformation, actually, he guarantees finances. Like he guarantees, you will make X amount of dollars or else we will give you your money back. Like
yeah.
that's a strong offer. A lot of weight loss people, like think about weight loss, you will lose 10 pounds. You can't guarantee that to everybody. It depends on the person because like for me, if I lost 10 pounds, I couldn't, I mean, I shouldn't, you know what I mean? So, but
Look at that. That was a cool humble brag, Janet. Like,
well,
listen, I'm
10
in
pounds
shape.
is pretty hard, but I mean, I've already lost some, so that's part of it. I could have lost 10 pounds a little bit ago. But the bottom line is, but if another person came and said 10 pounds, okay, you could do that. What will you offer? You'll guarantee what? Money back. They can work with you longer for free, blah, 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 blah. Like that needs to be strong. So I think those are some examples, but both those examples I gave are all about the transformation. So that's the key thing. He does talk a lot about the transformation. It's not about the steps along the way. It's what are they going to get? Like for me, it's going to be leads and sales. Yours could be leads and sales, to be honest, but it would be done in a different way. Now, is that the direction you want to go? Maybe, maybe not. But like, what is their transformation? Is it building up their LinkedIn profile to blah, 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 or to a level that starts converting to sales?
So I'm writing out a handful of them right now. Wow,
Okay.
I'm really into this whole handful thing. This is about the 5th handful in this particular last 2 minutes. So,
all right, okay, perfect.
So,
and this is an exercise he does in the book as well. So he does many exercises. So this is kind of one of them.
Yeah, and this is a good exercise, right? Because ultimately, I think books have changed, right? At least in terms of how, like self-help things, right? Books are now journals. Like the author tells you some shit and then makes you do some work, and I hope that's true because that's literally how I wrote my book.
That's actually the better type of book because if you just read it and you walk away, it can change your mindset. Like I've read some books that obviously you have too that change your mindset, but this is more the exercise type book. Yes.
All right, so I've got 3. Evidently, I have here's my handful. I have 3. That's it.
That's okay. All right, go for it.
Oh, we were, it was quick. So the transformation, you'll become viewed as a thought leader. You'll be more confident presenting, and you'll have new relationships with your target audience, right? Clients, partners, people. So I can guarantee that I can give people a way to achieve those 3 things I could do that. Well, shit, I could do that within, 6 weeks if I really phoned it in.
Sure.
Worked on it. But,
yep.
I could probably add to that transformation. But, people that are in business development, CEOs, because listen, if you're a CEO and it's a small company and you don't think you're in business development, you are doing something wrong. Right? You're the number 1 biz dev person in your company. You're not like waiting for somebody else to do it. But I can guarantee those 3 things. I did that thought leader course last year, like I mentioned, and in between just you and I ain't telling Ernie or anybody else, but between just the 2 of us, there were 2 people in that class. And the one person that actually showed up to every class has been on TEDx Detroit since that time. She has traveled to different places in the country since that time. She is now a recognized thought leader, getting called up and called out to do things. Why? Partly because she took that class. The rest of it, of course, because she actually did the work, right? She did what she learned. And isn't that a big deal, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The number 1 reason people haven't succeeded with what my offers, like coaching wise, is they spend like $100, get scared, and then they stop. It's
Yeah.
like you got to spend the money to get to, for my business. Now, going back to what you just said, so what would your guarantee be? So if you like, I get the guarantee, but what's your, if this doesn't happen, then what?
Well, it depends. I would love, but ultimately for me, my guarantee should be I will give you your money back. Right? That to me is the strongest guarantee a person can make. I will
Yep.
refund you. Even stronger, I will refund you and give you 10% more than you gave me. The problem for me is day one, that's a bad idea, right? Because you don't know 100% for sure that your offer is going to work, right? The dude that we're talking about didn't probably make a cashback guarantee until two things happened. One, he had definitive proof that 95% of the time his shit worked, just a guess, 95%. And two, he had enough money coming in that it was easy to take somebody else's money and give it to the person who falls into that 5%. That's just my guess.
And number three, the variable is the person themselves, the person that signs up with you, or with any Ernie, who signs up, their ambition, how much they actually do the work. That's kind of the key thing too. Are they following all the steps, or did they just get started and then quit, and then they ask for their money back? So I do actually, and then also is it's them and their offers, like I mentioned to you too. What are they, what are they offering on the back end? What's their business? If it's all different businesses, see, he was strictly gym owners. So like, that he knew that niche, he knew, so it's one specific business. Whereas if we're dealing with a lot of different types of businesses, how do we, it's a little bit different. So that's why they say, to get rich is in the niche, that's the thing.
You get rich. If you want to get rich, you got a niche.
Niche. We've heard that.
She was bang on too. That's we've been talking about that for 5 or 6 years. Ask me what my niche is. What's a niche?
Yeah, but there's plus and minuses. I always say there's plus and minuses to niching, but that's how they can, guarantee a very strong offer. I do offer a 30-day back money guarantee with like my courses and all that kind of stuff. I'll offer it back even with the coaching too. I don't know that it's written in there. It will be once, but the bottom line is they have to go through the steps. This is actually what we were talking about adding to it. Are they showing up on the calls? Are they spending enough ad spend? If they're in the ads coaching, they have to spend X amount of dollars in order to test it. Did they go through all the trainings? All the different pieces. If they do that and they still don't find that they got value from it or got to the place that they want to be, then you refund them.
And I think that's fair, right? I can't be mad at you for teaching me a bunch of stuff that I didn't do and it didn't work, right? That's not on you, that's on me. And I understand that radical accountability is a foreign concept to most people, as opposed to where most people are really good at radical blaming other people.
Yes.
Right. But ultimately, I don't care for that. Right. I want people that are going to be like, no, right here, I own that.
Yep.
Right. So it's
You're
interesting.
not giving your money back to anybody that complains. You just give it back to them, because first off, the internet, it's a play, and just, for your own well-being and everything, you're just better off doing that.
I have a client that had a former business partner, and that partnership went south, not because of my client, but because of a purchase. And so they didn't have the power to keep that relationship the way it was structured. And they've been sending out online reviews to request them. And so I got to look at the reviews today, and they're, tens and nines and nines and tens and tens and nines and zero. Like, dude literally got gave like
Wow.
a 0. I don't even know 0 was an option. He figured
I
it out.
didn't think there is either. Okay. Well, interesting.
But it's funny how when people feel wronged,
Yep.
regardless of whose fault it is, they're gonna take action.
Yep.
So, all right, back to this offer thing. So you could have group coaching, right? You could have like a service you provide, whether it's the online training material or e-learning or whatever we want to call it, or it's actually the service, the done for you kind of ad stuff that you do. What other types of offers could you see?
I mean, honestly, this could go with e-commerce too, if you think about it. Like it could be well, I hate to say this, but I'm looking at this thing that takes over Botox, for instance, and it's this gadget that I really want. And of course, they targeted me in Facebook, and it's like $600. But I'm thinking, okay, well, Botox is X amount. If you use this, it's going to save you money. But they could offer a money back guarantee, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it could go to the e-commerce level as well. That's enough. And a lot of them do that. A lot do it. Try us for 30 days, see the difference, that kind of thing. So there's that. There's also consulting, like one-on-one, meeting with somebody. You meet with me X amount of time. There's that type of thing as well. So there's a lot of different variables. But it depends on who our audience is right now listening. And there's so many different types of small businesses. I mean, think about even like fixing a phone or, I just was talking to a phone repair guy, think about that. Like we guarantee, think about the things on the phone, the covers, we guarantee if you drop it, it's not going to break, or, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of those types of guarantees out there.
So, I mean, are guarantees and offers the same thing? Because it sounds like you're trying to use them interchangeably now.
Got it. Yeah, no, I would say, well, an offer, yeah, if we're talking internet marketing stuff, then that's a little bit different. But yeah, I would say an offer, well, a product's an offer.
Okay.
Any product's an offer.
Okay, I can see that.
If you think about it.
I can acquiesce to
the
that.
Gadget that I'm talking about for the Botox, it's an offer. I mean, they're offering to replace Botox. So I don't know. It's a weird example. I get it, but yeah, but it is an offer.
Offering to replace Botox. I like that. Please get rid of my Botox for me.
Exactly.
All right. So
those are the things. I think there's so many different offers that people can do. They can do memberships too. Okay. That's another thing we didn't talk about. Ongoing memberships. Like I belong to one on TikTok ads with Maxwell Finn. I'm happy to pay $97 a month for that because I stay on top of, the latest, greatest happening with TikTok ads.
I was going to say, all right, so you pay $97 a month. How many people has he got in that group?
I don't know. It's not a ton because he's got a major agency too, I would say maybe a 50 to 100 max, 100 maybe.
Okay. But all right, so just by, simple math, you got 50 people paying you $97 a month. You're at $4,850 a month.
For some people, that would be good. I think for Max Finn, that's chump change.
He probably doesn't really care. I bet he cares a little more than you would think.
Yeah, it's a base. It's a good base. Yeah.
Don't you think? Right? I mean, if you lost $4,850 a month, you'd be like, this sucks.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the key thing for I think some people want to really help others too. And, that I think is a big piece of the membership.
That's the driver for him.
Yeah. And the group coaching and that kind of thing. And you can learn from others with that type of thing. He just happens to be the main person, but he can learn from others as well.
I like that idea, right? Especially if your group's interactive and people are communicating and sharing what they're learning and how they're winning and what worked and didn't work. The idea, I got in trouble for saying groupthink in a training presentation not too terribly long ago, but I wasn't using it in the way that evidently they took it, right? I meant the idea of shared wisdom. I didn't mean like, oh, you think that, so I have to think that too.
Mm.
It was interesting to me. It
Yeah, I
was
belong to
interesting.
a few of those. Yeah, so I pay ad leaks as well. Same type of thing. It's more of the mastermind type groups in a way, you know.
Yeah, there's some value to those, I think.
Oh, I for sure think so.
I
Yes.
think
Yes.
so.
That's
If
my
I think
I,
if people are
they don't
paying
call it a
attention,
mastermind, they call it a membership, but I think it's got, a lot of those have a combo of both.
that makes
So
sense.
I was talking to you about the offer. I'm considering doing something around that AI, you
Yeah,
know, because I think there's so much to it. And I see so many new tools and cool things coming out. It's crazy with the AI. So, it could be one of those things where you have a membership, but you also mastermind as well. Like other people can bring, in what they find, you learn from them as well. So it's pretty cool.
I like that as an idea. I like the idea of people sharing and growing together, right?
And
I
that's
think
more of a
that's
mastermind, to be
important.
honest with you. You maybe want to word your offer. You got to think, is my offer straight up coaching or is it more of a mastermind or what do I want to build? I see
Yeah,
you doing more of a mastermind potentially.
you know what? I would actually, to some extent, I'd like to have both, right? I'd like to have it set up where if I'm really on my game, here's 6 months of stuff. This is what we're gonna learn. This is what we're gonna go through. The each month, right? You can jump in and just buy it by the month. You can come in, get your shit, and get out. I'm okay with that. And that's kind of more on the training and the development side. And then if you want, here's the month price. Here's a discount if you buy 6 months at the time. And then here's the private, separate, above level group that's for the mastermind conversation where you can work together, learn together, share together, grow together. In my mind, so now
You got the layers. Yep.
you got low, middle, high.
Yep.
And I don't know what the price points for that is. I'm literally making this up as I speak, obviously. But that's kind of how I would initially think about it.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. And I know a lot of people that do their business just like that. Yeah. So
Okay,
I've
so
seen it. It's a
so I'm
thing. It's a
because
thing. Yes.
I can tell you exactly how many of these coaching groups I've been in. It's real easy to count. It's like that score that a friend of mine gave to that company of mine.
Zero. Oh no, I've been in lots of different things. So key thing, just remember transformation. What's that transformation at the end of any of the layers? Doesn't matter which layer. And what's the guarantee as well. And if
Yeah,
we can get that out there, I just, there's so much more to this book. I mean, we just touched the surface. We just talked offers and guarantees mainly. So you need to get the book. It's called $100 Million Offers, and it is
by
by Alex
Alex
Hormozy.
Hermosi.
Yep, great guy. And he actually has links and downloads and all sorts of stuff. I mean, you almost are going through a whole course when you with his book if you really followed along the steps. So I recommend the book. And what we're going to do, I think we've probably gone over a little bit. So what I want to do is end, unless you have something else, Terry. But what I want to do is also preface this with, we are going to come back to this when Terry has his offer built. And I think we should hold him to it.
You think we're gonna do this show for another 7 years, Janet E. Johnson? Is that what you say? All right. Well, hold on. You know what? Forget it. Like they're in this deep. They're in this far already. So if we take a few more minutes, then they're gonna be happy we did, because this question is important.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about the beginning stages, how you think about it, what it should entail,
Okay.
in different ways to go about your offer and what your offer can serve. But at the end of that arc, right? what does that offer look like? How do you know when your offer is ready to be put in public? Right. I mean, I know you got to test and it's never really done. So I don't want to say when it's done. But what does it look like? Is it, is it funnels and sales pages and videos and calls to action and all that stuff? What does it need to have?
Okay. The number one thing I've learned from coaches, all my coaches that make a lot of money, is that you don't need to have the back end perfected before you sell it. So do not sit and go, I have to create all these different things. Now, if it's a course, like I just created that TikTok course, ads course, and it's very, it's a course they go through. So you have to kind of have that piece done. But bottom line is, if it's like where you're going to get on a weekly call with them and everything, you don't have to, you can jump on that weekly call with them. You have the content, you can move it in as you go. You could send it to them by email, because you've already got some of the content. But the bottom line is you need to know your pillars and like have an outline and have your layers of what you're going to be offering, but you do not have to have it done yet. Your best thing is to get it out there. Even if you don't have a full-blown sales page, who do you know that would be willing to try it out for free even? And just, as a friend of yours, and go through the course it's not a course, whatever you're offering, coach, it depends on what it is. But I would get a few people or say, would you be willing to pay me? This will be a $2,000 offer, but would you be willing to do it right now for, I don't know, I'm throwing out a number, $100, just to, because if they pay something, it makes a difference, I think. Like
They'll show up.
Yes, exactly. And test it with 5 of your friends, business friends, of course, or, it depends on the offer. It depends on the business, getting it in front. So don't spend too much time. I'm all about getting it out there.
So that's exactly how I did it last year, right? I told you I had 2 people signed up. I gave it to 2 other friends simultaneously. One person that I gave it to showed up every time. One person that paid for it showed up every time. The other 2, it was like, oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. I'll watch the video. You didn't even watch the damn video. Don't act like you're going. And I built the worst landing page, sales page in history. Didn't have a form, didn't have anything. It was contact me, click this link, email, and managed to drive about 18 people to see it, right? Because I'm shy when it comes to promoting my own stuff. And, it was good. It was good. It was not great, right? It was, the goal of that was to practice and see what we could learn
Which
and
you
put
did.
together an actual online e-learning class. And so not quite done with any of that.
Honestly,
But
18 people seeing it is not enough. You need a
18
lot more numbers, but if you converted 4 people out of 18, that's really good numbers.
Yeah.
22%. So, like that's your test that you had. Now build on top of that. The other thing is to get testimonials.
Yeah.
Really got to get the testimonials for your sales page when this person had this transformation. Would you like that transformation too? Like the story you just told me about the gal that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, I had asked Princess to write me one. It seemed fair and reasonable at this point. She's doing better than I am now. So there's that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's just bottom line is then that's going to sell it for you.
Right. That third party endorsement's key. All right. Well, they're good. I think this was useful. We'll have to figure out what we're going to name it. So you're thinking about an offer, man. That's probably the name right there.
There you go. Yep.
And we can kind of go from there. I know that I got to narrow mine down, right? The one thing that I was talking the other day, I said, if I had my speaking career to do all over again, I would have come up with 3 talks and refined those 3 for different audiences instead of 40 talks, right? I literally have 36 decks in my laptop, and this laptop's 3 years old. I'm not talking about the other 11 years of presenting I've been doing. I'm versatile. What can I say?
You need slides.ai. Holy cow. Slidesai.io. That's the one. I actually purchased that because it's amazing. So Slides AI, it creates your slides for you.
No, I'm not.
Um,
That part's not that tough, but that would be cool. They'd probably be better
it's
than mine.
time consuming though. It's not hard, but it's time consuming. We want to
That's fair.
save time. So that's
That's
another call. That's another one. We'll talk AI at some
all right.
point.
Well, yeah, we'll have to talk about that because I still have to get on ChatGPT. That is on my list of things to play with this week.
Ah, awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
All right. Well, this was good. I want to finish it up, Terry.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. We have 190 plus episodes that are designed to help you grow your business. We've talked to massive experts, and we consider ourselves the expert in a couple of areas as well. So we do a little bit of these one-on-ones, and about half are with other people. You can find all of those at businessgrowthtime.com/podcast or /blog if you're so inclined. And then if you really want to get a feel for what we've talked about, go over to our Instagram at Business Growth Time, and you can take a look. You got all the real colorful graphics and thumbnails on each little presentation and podcast, and you can see what's going on and then click and find one that works for you. We'll look forward to seeing you again real soon.
All right. Thank you.